PR Connections Radio presents.
Welcome, Golden Knights fans, to Vegas Hockey Hub, as we are going to be doing a game recap here as your Vegas Golden Knights beat the San Jose Sharks 4-1 on a good Thursday night out there in San Jose at the SAP Center. And it was a really interesting game, a good situation that happened, and we will break all of that down here on Vegas Hockey Hub Recap with your host, Ian Rachiele. And if you want to go to prconnectionsradio.com, the voice of new media, check out all the content we have on there. Once again, that is prconnectionsradio.com. We have about a dozen shows here on the network, so if you want to watch all the shows, including Vegas Hockey Hub, I highly recommend doing so. If you want to go to our YouTube channel, if it is PR Connections Radio or Vegas Hockey Hub, welcome in. If you want to subscribe and or like this video, I would highly appreciate it. And if you are on our social media, it is at Vegas Hockey Hub. We do live tweeting throughout the game, and I also will post highlights and clips onto my Twitter account as well. So my thing is right down there at Ian Rachiele 18. Once again, that is Ian Rachiele 18 right down here. And if you want to go to our website as well, we post a bunch of content on there daily. So there's a lot of content, a lot of stuff in the works. I also am going to mention that on Friday night at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, we are going to be doing a player profile here on Vegas Hockey Hub. So stay tuned for that. And it's going to be a really good player profile. We spent a couple of days working on this project here on Vegas Hockey Hub. So once again, on Friday night at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, we are going to be doing a player profile here on Vegas Hockey Hub. It's going to be really exciting, and it's going to be a really good episode. So I hope you're looking forward to that. Now, getting into the actual game itself, we're actually going to start out as we're doing our Golden Knights and Sharks recap. We're going to start out with the lineup changes from opening night. So Brett Howden, he got suspended for 2 games by the NHL Department of Player Safety. It's understandable, and honestly, it is a reasonable suspension by the NHL Department of Player Safety. Look, Brett Howden, it was a hit to the head. It was on Brandon Tanev. We showed the clip on the Game 1 recap. It was not a good play. In fact, it was kind of a careless play by Brett Howden. So yes, him getting suspended for 2 games, that opened a spot in the lineup. And then an additional lineup spot was for William Carrier. William Carrier, he got injured in Game 1, suffered a upper body injury. He will be out for a while for the Vegas Golden Knights. Hopefully he comes back soon. But until then, there is now 2 roster spots that had to be filled because there was 2 vacancies on Carrier and Howden. So here's what the lineup changes consisted of. Paul Cotter, who was on the 3rd line on opening night, gets bumped up to the 2nd line with Stevenson and Stone. Pavel Dorofeev, who was a healthy scratch on opening night, he gets promoted into the starting lineup. He replaces Paul Cotter on the 3rd line. And then with William Carrier being out, they go to Henderson, and Jonas Raumbier, he goes to line 4 to be with Keegan Kolazar and Nick Waugh. Now, the rest of the lineup stays the same. Barbashev, Eichel, and Marchessault on line 1. You had Amadio and Carlson on the 3rd line to team up with Dorofeev. And then your defensive pairings were still the same from opening night. Haig and Pietrangelo, Bahal and Hutton, McNabb and Theodore. And your goaltender in his first start of the season is Logan Thompson. So Aiden Hill, the former San Jose Shark, he will be sitting on the bench. He gets some rest after an amazing performance on opening night against Seattle. So Logan Thompson comes into play. He would be in the net against San Jose for your Vegas Golden Knights. And not even 5 minutes into the game, you had a fight. Yeah, fight. There was a fight in the Vegas Golden Knights San Jose Sharks game. I said on the preview show that there's going to be some physicality. I wouldn't be surprised if the gloves were dropped, and not even 5 minutes into the game, that is exactly what happened. As Keegan Kolazar drops a glove with Kyle Burrows, and it was actually a good fight, surprisingly. There was some jabs, there was some overthrows. I will say there were some good opportunities by Burrows and by Kolazar. And if you had to do a win, loss, or draw, I definitely say it was a good bout by Kolazar. He brought some good punches, some good opportunities there. I would give the win to Keegan Kolazar when it came to the fight in the first period. But yes, the fact that Keegan Kolazar dropped the gloves not even 5 minutes into the game, yes, it was expected considering the rivalry and the heated rivalry that San Jose and Vegas have had over the last couple of years. So definitely that was a good opener to the game. The fact that 5 minutes in, Keegan Kolazar and Kyle Burrows got into a fight with Vegas and San Jose. Then a couple of minutes go by, and then there was the first goal of the game by your Vegas Golden Knights, as it's me, Amadio. Michael Amadio scores his first goal of the season, and it was assisted by Nick Hague and William Karlsson. And that gets him on the board. It is 1-0 in San Jose as the Vegas Golden Knights put the first goal on the board. And as much as people are going to watch that play and see how Michael Amadio put the puck in the back of the net, I do want to appreciate the setup from William Karlsson. The way Karlsson extended the play, the way he established and set up the scenario for Amadio, that was a great setup by William Karlsson. The way that he shifted and redirected the puck and then got the open opportunity for Amadio, that was an excellent textbook play by William Karlsson. So I just wanted to very quickly mention this setup from Karlsson because that is a nice touch, and that was one of the main reasons why you had that goal from Amadio. That was a good job by Karlsson. 2 minutes later, in the first period, the San Jose Sharks would unfortunately get on the board as Philip Zadina, the former Detroit Red Wing, the former top pick in Detroit in Motown, he would get his first goal of the season in San Jose. It was a good assist from Tomas Hertl, but it was a 1-1 situation in San Jose as they got to the end of the first period. And I will mention that about San Jose, their roster has a lot of young talent on it. William Eklund, he was blocking shots. He was creating opportunities in San Jose. That is a name you're going to have to watch out for. William Eklund, someone who's done pretty well as a member of the San Jose Sharks. So as much as I don't like to give credit, or a lot of people don't like to give credit to the opposing team, I will say the one noticeable detail about San Jose was the young talent like Philip Zadina, who scored the goal and the only goal for San Jose on the night, and William Eklund, and the fact that Kaapo Kähkönen, who actually came over from Nashville, came over from Chicago, he actually didn't do as bad in net for San Jose. So just very quickly, wanted to give a little bit of credit to the San Jose Sharks there, because there is a lot of young talent on this roster, and it's going to be great to see what they do in the future. So after the first period, it is tied at 1-1 between your Vegas Golden Knights and San Jose Sharks. And after a full period almost comes to an end, at the 18-minute mark, Nick Hague scores his first goal of the season for your Vegas Golden Knights. Good assist by Alex Pietrangelo and Jack Eichel to make it a 2-1 game. And you know what? I guess it was just the nick of time, because not even 1 minute later, Nicholas Waugh scores his first goal of the season, as you would have an assist by Ben Hutton and the guy who was making his debut up from Henderson that same night, and Jonas Roundbeer, to make it a 3-1 game for your Vegas Golden Knights. And I will mention about Nick Waugh is that this is a guy who is a fourth-line center, someone who has scored 15 goals, 14 goals as a member of the Golden Knights the past 2 seasons. And I like the confidence I've seen from Nick Waugh. It feels like at this point, he knows he's a bottom 6 center. He's someone who's established himself as a veteran in the locker room. He's been in Vegas for the last 4 years. But it was definitely a good play. Ben Hutton establishing the point, and when it came to Roundbeer, having a good, solid season debut after getting called up from Henderson earlier in the day. So as they ended the second period for the Vegas Golden Knights, they were up 3-1. And I'm going to mention this just because I was there, but I want to say thank you to Red Rock Hotel and Casino for the fantastic watch party that they did for the Vegas Golden Knights. It was at the poolside when it came to Red Rock Casino. There was raffles, there was giveaways. He even had the PA announcer for the Vegas Golden Knights announce the Michael Amadio goal, which was definitely a good situation there. You had Chance, the mascot. He was present at the watch party as well. So I will say, once again, appreciate Red Rock Hotel Casino for the watch party for hosting it last night. So when it came to your Vegas Golden Knights, they were up by 2 goals after leaving the second period. Then to begin the last period of the game, not even 2 minutes into the period, Braden Bahal scores his first ever NHL goal. And man, so many people were excited on the bench. You could tell that the Vegas Golden Knights players were excited that Braden Bahal, entering his 3rd season, because he has been kind of a part-time guy in Vegas, full-time in Henderson, but for him to score his first career NHL goal, assisted by Pavel Dorofeev and William Karlsson, to make it a 4-1 game for the Vegas Golden Knights. Also appreciate the fact that William Karlsson had 2 assists on the night for your Vegas Golden Knights. So for William Karlsson 2 assists, Pavel Dorofeev having his first assist of the season when it came to the Vegas Golden Knights. And yeah, Braden Bahal, that was a very exciting situation. His first ever goal in the NHL. And defensively, Braden Bahal did a pretty good job. But we're actually going to show kind of a video clip of the Braden Bahal goal. We have about a 15-second clip here, so we'll be right back after showing you a replay of the goal here on Vegas Hockey Hub.
Here's Bahal out top. His wrist shot, score! Braden Bahal snaps it home. His first in the NHL. It's 4-1 Vegas.
Couldn't be.
So yeah, definitely a good situation there. Shout out to Braden Bahal, because once again, congrats on his first ever goal in the NHL. Now, towards the end of the third period, there was an unfortunate situation that happened in the game. Alex Pietrangelo, the alternate captain of the Vegas Golden Knights, he had to leave the game after taking a puck to the face from Nick Hague. And as much as I'd like to talk about it, and as much as I'd love to explain it in detail, I'm just going to let the video explain what happened with the Alex Pietrangelo taking a puck to the face. It was right here on Vegas Hockey Hub.
Stevenson back to Hague again. He'll release, and he hit Pietrangelo up high, and Alex Pietrangelo's hurt. Blood pouring from his face, and Pietrangelo heading to the bench, and they're going to take him right into the dressing room.
So, yes, so that was the clip of Alex Pietrangelo getting hit in the face towards the end of the game in San Jose. So we are, of course, going to get an update on what happened there with Alex Pietrangelo. Hopefully it is nothing too serious. But, yeah, it was just an unfortunate bang-bang play. It's something in hockey where, unfortunately, Nick Hague took a shot. Pietrangelo was in the wrong place at the wrong time. But, yes, Alex Pietrangelo taking a puck to the face at the end of the San Jose game. But after the final 2 minutes of the game and everything happened the way it was supposed to, your Vegas Golden Knights would win the game, as it would be a 4-1 victory in San Jose for your Vegas Golden Knights. And I do appreciate the Vegas Golden Knights communications on Twitter. I will be taking this from them. I'm not going to take credit. The Vegas Golden Knights have extended their road point streak in San Jose to 14 games. In fact, they have won 11 of their last 14 games at the SAP Center in San Jose, and this is actually the longest active streak against a single franchise. So to say the Vegas Golden Knights have been dominant against San Jose would be an understatement. And I know some people say, is this rivalry still around? Does Vegas and San Jose still technically have a rivalry? I'm going to lean towards yes because of the physicality you had in the game tonight. This was a game where the Vegas Golden Knights, there was some good hip checks. There was definitely some good physicality back and forth. And I also will point out that there was one player who impressed throughout the entire game, not just because of his physicality, but because of how well he did on both sides of the puck, and that was Paul Cotter. So I mentioned earlier in the show that because Brett Howden got suspended for 2 games, Paul Cotter got elevated to the second line. He would play with Chandler Stevenson and Mark Stone. And man, he did exceptionally well with Stevenson and Stone. Now, some of this could be because he played with Stevenson and Stone on line 1 occasionally last year. But that chemistry with Paul Cotter, he had that confidence to him. He knew what lane he had to go into. When it came to defense, he understood where he needed to be, being in the right zone at the right time. I like that Paul Cotter did what he had to do on line 2. There wasn't really any jitters. You really didn't see any uncomfortability there. He knew what he had to do. I also will say that the physicality of Paul Cotter is really understated. I will say that Paul Cotter is somebody who, in terms of physicality, might be one of the best on the Vegas Golden Knights. The way he is doing checks and the way he is putting people in the boards, it is a solid situation for the Vegas Golden Knights. He did it against Seattle. He did it against San Jose. He is someone who's not afraid to take shots. He is not afraid to block shots, be physical, push somebody into the boards. He is not afraid of that. And I think for Paul Cotter, someone who is young, one of the youngest guys in the starting lineup for your Vegas Golden Knights, it is impressive that Paul Cotter is able to be as physical as he is. And even offensively, he has shown some potential there. He takes good shots. He knows when he has to take one. He has that discipline as well. He knows when he has to check it down. I like what Paul Cotter has kind of become and kind of shown as a potential player in Vegas. And him being a middle 6 forward is great. And I will not be surprised, and I said this a week ago, I will not be shocked if Paul Cotter eventually becomes a top 6 forward here in Vegas. I would compare him to an Alex Tuch-esque kind of player. Somebody who started on the bottom 6, was a part-time guy to begin in Vegas, but then eventually blossomed and became a top 6 forward by the end of his tenure in Vegas. So I will say Paul Cotter showing potential. I like what he did last night, and he is someone who has definitely earned a spot on the Vegas Golden Knights roster. He should be a full-time member this year. He was a part-time guy last year. And I will mention, because not many people love to mention this, but I will obviously will. When it comes to the penalty kill, the Vegas Golden Knights are 0-6 when it comes to the penalty kill. There is no power play goal let up by the Vegas Golden Knights this year. Very impressive to start the year. So for the Vegas Golden Knights, they are 6 for 6 on execution, on killing power plays. And I like the fact that the Vegas Golden Knights are doing exceptionally well at not giving up unnecessary penalties. You saw in the beginning of the game, there was a cross-check by Barbashev on Mikhail Grunland. You also had the Barbashev situation. Pavel Dorofeev took a hooking penalty to begin the game. But after the Jose was trying to force and trying to cause penalties to happen, but the discipline by Bruce Cassidy and the players definitely is a lot much appreciated by the Vegas Golden Knights. So, good performance by the Golden Knights. Once again, they are 6 for 6 on the penalty kill to begin the young season. And I will say the Vegas Golden Knights defensively, Jack Eichel, Mark Stone, 2 of the best guys when it comes to the penalty kill for the Vegas Golden Knights. And we have been doing this on our Vegas Hockey Hub recap. We've been doing this for a while now. But player of the game has to go to Braden Bahal for scoring his first career NHL goal. We played the video clip earlier in the show. But yes, a lot of credit and a lot of respect to Braden Bahal. This is a guy who was a captain of the Henderson Silver Knights last year, earned a promotion to the Vegas Golden Knights to begin this year, and he has definitely earned the situation he is in now. So for Braden Bahal, player of the game, scoring the last goal of the game and his first career goal, and I kind of like the fact that he mentioned in the post-game interview that he had a lot of teammates coming up to him. Paul Cotter was one guy who came up to him, and they were just congratulating him over and over again because he didn't score any goals last year, and even in a small cup of coffee in 2021, 2022, he didn't score any goals there. So it took him into his third NHL season for Braden Bahal to get his first goal. It will be a memorable moment for Braden Bahal that will last a lifetime. And as we are getting towards the end of our recap show here on Vegas Hockey Hub, I'm your host, Ian Rachiele. I do want to mention one more time that on Friday night at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, we have a player profile for you. You have to watch the show to see who it is, but we have a player profile that we have been working on here on Vegas Hockey Hub. We have it all done and ready to go. And at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central on Friday night, we have a really good player profile all planned out for you. So go to prconnectionsradio.com, the voice of new media, or go to the YouTube channel or Facebook page at PR Connections Radio and watch the show on the player profile. It's going to be a fantastic watch with your host, Ian Rachiele, doing the show. Now, if there is only one negative that I have, and I'm going to say I always put my negatives towards last. Obviously, I don't like being negative, but I always have to point out something when I see it. The Vegas Golden Knights in the first two games of the year, they have displayed a slow pace in the first period. Like I mentioned, in the Seattle game, it took them almost all the way towards the end of period number one for the Vegas Golden Knights to score a goal. Now, a lot of people shrugged that off as, you know what, it was banner night, they had the celebrations, that's why they had a slow start. But unfortunately, in San Jose, it really showed a same situation where the pacing for the Vegas Golden Knights in the first period was slow. It really seemed like they weren't really up to speed yet in the first period for the Vegas Golden Knights. Obviously, by the second period, that was all done and over with, and their pacing went back to normal. But I'm kind of hoping this isn't a trend by Bruce Cassidy and the Vegas Golden Knights for the whole season. Because if you have a slow pace in the first period, teams are going to pick up on that. And later into the season, if that's still happening, teams are going to use their speed and they're going to attack you more aggressively in the first period, knowing that you're going to have a slow pace in the first period. So for the Vegas Golden Knights, I hope this isn't a reoccurring situation, but it's just an observation that I noticed, is that for the second game in a row, their pacing was really slow to start the first period. They did it against Seattle, and they did it now against San Jose. And I like to mention that the Vegas Golden Knights, San Jose Sharks, 4-1 victory. And their upcoming game, it will be here in Vegas against the Anaheim Ducks. That will be at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Central. And I will say for the Vegas Golden Knights, Vegas Hockey Hub will be there. So I will be uploading videos and I will be taking photos and uploading it to our social media sites at Vegas Hockey Hub. And I will also do a game recap on Sunday morning at 8 a.m. like we are doing right now. And as a matter of fact, for the rest of the season, that is what we're going to be doing here on Vegas Hockey Hub, is that at 8 a.m. the next morning, we'll be doing our Vegas Hockey Hub recap of all the games the Vegas Golden Knights will have in the 2023-2024 NHL season. This is game 2 of 82 for the Vegas Hockey Hub recap. So on Sunday morning at 8 a.m., we are going to be doing our recap of the Anaheim Ducks and Vegas Golden Knights game. And if you want to do the live tweets, we do it as well as on Saturday night, the Anaheim Ducks and Vegas Golden Knights at T-Mobile Arena, and we will be there. And before we get towards the end of the show, I do want to give our Henderson Silver Knights update here on Vegas Hockey Hub. Obviously, the show is more centered towards Vegas Golden Knights, but we do talk about the Henderson Silver Knights and occasionally UNLV Rebels hockey. In fact, we have a video planned for UNLV that we will be doing very soon. That is in the works right now. But with the Henderson Silver Knights, congratulations to Jake Bischoff on being named the new captain of the Henderson Silver Knights. Like I mentioned earlier in the show, last year, Braden Bahal was the captain of the Henderson Silver Knights, but him getting promoted to the NHL, they needed a new captain. Jake Bischoff, who has been a lifer for the Vegas Golden Knights, he was drafted in the 2017 NHL expansion draft by the New York Islanders. And he has been with the Chicago Wolves, Henderson Silver Knights. He has done preseason games for Vegas, training camps, development camps, all of that. So after 7 years of being in the minors for the Vegas Golden Knights, Jake Bischoff is now named the captain of the Henderson Silver Knights. And I also will say Adam Cracknell, the former Las Vegas Wrangler back in the day, he is the alternate captain. And Byron Freese, who has had a cup of coffee in the Vegas Golden Knights in the past, he will be he'll also be the alternate captain for the Henderson Silver Knights. It's live, folks. Anything can happen. So, with the Henderson Silver Knights, I want to say once again, congratulations to Jake Bischoff on being named the captain of the Henderson Silver Knights. And like we do here on Vegas Hockey Hub, once a month at the end of each month, we are also going to do our recap show for the Henderson Silver Knights, giving you a Silver Knight update, kind of a roundup for the Silver Knights, as we are going to be doing that once a month, going over the minor league situation for the Vegas Golden Knights. But yes, this was a Silver Knights update as we're getting towards the end of our recap show here on Vegas Hockey Hub. Congratulations, Jake Bischoff. And for the Henderson Silver Knights, they also are going to be having their season opener very soon. And that is actually going to be a fun situation. We will also briefly talk about that on the recap show afterwards. The fact that the Henderson Silver Knights are going to be doing their season opener on the end of the week. And it's going to be a lot of fun watching them take on the Iowa Wild in back-to-back games. So that is kind of your Silver Knights update here on Vegas Hockey Hub. I'm your host, Ian Rachiele. So yes, on Sunday at 8 a.m., when the Anaheim Ducks take on the Vegas Golden Knights on Saturday night at T-Mobile Arena, after we record our footage and take video and all the photos we take at T-Mobile Arena, Sunday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Central, we will do our game recap of the Anaheim Ducks, and we'll also briefly mention the series opener for the Henderson Silver Knights against the Iowa Wild as well. So it's going to be a fantastic Sunday on an upcoming video here on Vegas Hockey Hub with your host, Ian Rachiele. And as we have about 90 seconds left here on the show, I want to mention one more time, go to prconnectionsradio.com, the voice of new media. Check out all the content we have on there. Not only do we have Vegas Hockey Hub, but we have The Power with Brian Gardner, Cozy Up and Pay Attention with Cozy Stone. There's also an amazing show, The Love of Business, with Edgar Rodriguez and Devin Sunvik. There is fantastic content on this network, not just including Vegas Hockey Hub. We have about a dozen shows here on the network. I also want to give praise to Guy Dawson and Dana for helping out and making this show and this channel for what it is. So this is prconnectionsradio.com, the voice of new media. Follow them on social media at PR Connections Radio and follow the show at Vegas Hockey Hub. I'm your host, Ian Rachiele. Follow me on social media at Ian Rachiele18. If you want to watch our latest show, there's a card right there on YouTube. We'll put that up there in post-production. And until next time, I'm your host, Ian Rachiele. Continue watching hockey. Go support junior hockey. And go Knights. Go.
PR Connections Radio presents